chip.
It just told me that it's on.
Your phone?
But it's offline.
It says that on your phone.
Uh-huh. So I'm going to.
Okay. You gonna check your phone to see, to be sure?
Yeah. Yep.
It's on?
Yep.
Testing one, testing one, testing one. Can you hear me there? Test, test. Doesn't hear me.
Test, test.
I don't hear you through the headphones either. Mm-mm. Okay. Chris, speak. Chris.
Yes,
Chris?
yes. Hello, test. Test 1, 2.
They can't hear each other though.
Speak. Talking, Chris. Need you to say, speak up, Chris.
We're at the All-Star game. About 8 minutes till kick.
No, we don't hear each other.
He said he ready.
He said what?
He said he put it on his box.
He's going to put it on his box.
In the bar.
Okay. And your light that usually fluctuates, isn't it supposed to be some movement right here? Showing your volume input or something, and we're not getting anything on it. Okay, let me see. Chris, you still don't hear me, Chris?
I feel like I can hear you a little bit now.
Okay, speak, Chris.
Yes.
I hear Chris coming through. Now I hear him.
Hello.
I hear him coming through.
Yeah.
But that's okay. See, our lights are. Look, see, our lights are moving a little bit here. And welcome to the Crawfordville Lindy's pregame show. This is INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week, and this is Mickey Clayton, the coach, and I'm here with my partner in crime from the School of Journalism, a senior getting ready to graduate, Chris Johnson from Ohio.
Yes, sir. Counting down the days and counting down the minutes now to the kickoff here.
I thought you were going to say you counting down the minutes to graduation.
Counting down the days to graduation.
Oh, you're counting down the days to graduation, huh?
Counting down the minutes to this kickoff to this Florida-Georgia All-Star game, my first battle of the border, or war of the border, I should say. And we got a good one for him tonight, Coach, don't we?
We got a good one, but I'm still getting over my homeboy here. He's been practicing his Ohio, so he's getting ready to go back to the Buckeye State, and he's going back with my team, the Cleveland Browns, and help pull them through because we're going to win some games now.
Hey, man, Mayfield back there, future seems bright, but it didn't seem bright in Cleveland before. But that's besides the point. We're here tonight in Thomasville. They've been showing us a lot of love. It's a cool night. About a smooth 60 degrees, great football weather.
It is. We have the Florida team lined up across the end zone to our right, and the color guard has been standing there for about 20 minutes getting ready. The Florida and Georgia battle, war of the border. We were here last year with the game in Thomasville. They actually played 3 of these contests that they put on. Mike Gammons and Robbie Cleese, they put these games on in their effort to try to help some of the student athletes play their last game in an all-star situation collegiately against each other and get a chance to be able to try to garner football scholarships at some of the smaller schools that don't really get out to see them play during the season. Rumor has it they had a young man about 5-6 years ago play, had no scholarships, was able to get a scholarship offer from the game and plays with the Jacksonville Jaguars today. So you keep hope alive.
Yeah, Coach, it's really getting down to the nitty-gritty for the players who haven't really gotten any looks or any offers. So for this game, it give them a nice opportunity to get noticed, maybe their final opportunity to get noticed before signing day next month.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. And as we know, football is big in Georgia. It is in Florida, but they're serious about it here. And one of the first things that I remember coming as we talked to some of the principals and administrators as we sought to get INSiiGHTS underway and get it going, one of the things the principal said was, y'all crazy in Florida. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, you get kids over there transfer and go to different schools. In Georgia, we don't play that. If you don't like the school you at, you better move and go to a different school, because otherwise you're going to have to stay. And one of the things that we really like here in Georgia is how the kids grow up knowing where they're going to school. And traditionally, when we come here at Thomasville High, we see a lot of the youth in Thomasville wearing their red, going through warm-ups with their heroes, with their high school stars, and going through the drill. And they grow up wanting to play for that high school in their community.
Yeah, there's nothing better than that, seeing the youth, and especially being able to see them mature from that youth into actual being in that position that they once idolized.
And you played high school football. Did you know the high school that you were going to play at when you were growing up in Columbus?
Well, I knew the high school that I wanted to go to because my uncle had went to Northland High School, and my mom had went to Beechcroft, and then he transferred to Beechcroft. So I wanted to go to Beechcroft in Columbus, but we ended up moving out of the City League school district, so I had to go to Groveport, Madison, which is home of Le'Veon Bell. Pay that man.
Okay. We see that one of the things that's making it a little bit difficult for the fans is that to our back on the visiting side is traditionally where we enter the stadium at, and the gates are locked, and, we got special dispensation. Our camera person was able to smile, and they unlocked the gate and let us in. But a lot of people are complaining about entering on the home side and having to walk around, and looks like parking is out. But as we look from our perch here inside the score box, we're able to see a line of cars streaming into the parking lot, and so we're expecting a decent crowd here in Thomasville. We see over to our left the Georgia team is lining up, preparing to enter and come in. We're kind of excited because on the roster, on the Florida roster, there's roughly 45, 46 players that we have shown on our INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week that are participating in this game from the Florida side. We also have, looks like about 18 of the players on the Georgia side have had an opportunity to play on our INSiiGHTS High School Games of the Week. So what we're saying is that we've been able to bring to you in your living room, on your phone, on your TV, on your computer, on your laptop, some of the best football, some of the best athletes that South Georgia and the North Florida area have had the opportunity to play. So you've been able to see them, and we'll get a chance to see them again today. It's the Thomasville High Band over there playing. They had a nice slow walk across. Traffic had to stop for them to come across. My eyes kind of bad. That young man at the 40-yard line looks like he got a fishing pole. I know that's not what he has, but it sure looked like it. The Georgia team is led by head football coach Zach Grades, and a lot of his coaches. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of the 13 coaches from Georgia that are participating in this game are from Thomasville High School. From the Florida team, we have Tony Yeomans from Franklin County. Madison County coach. Lincoln's represented. Godby, Wakulla, Franklin. All have coaches that are here representing their respective schools and representing the state of Florida in this contest.
So as the time winds down, we got about 10 seconds till they probably start the pregame ceremonies here with the color guard and the national anthem. It's a pretty windy night tonight, Coach. You see the flag blowing in the wind. How do you think that'll affect the four quarterbacks tonight?
Probably not much. As they'll probably have a bigger issue in terms of not having practiced much, even though we did see the Florida team practicing at Florida High. when we were able to see when we were going to do the boys and girls at Gaston County in Florida High. But right now, INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Brought to you by Randy Fields, pastor at the Gathering Church in Thomasville. Please remain standing as we honor America with a presentation of colors brought to you by the Thomasville Junior ROTC. Join us now as Randy Fields leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing as we further honor America with the national anthem, sung tonight by Emma Burgess. We apologize.
Well, we ought to be a little bit closer now to playing a little football. We have on the other side of us the legendary coach Ira Reynolds and Johnny Cofield. You'll hear me talk about them all game long. All game long you'll hear it. And they're gonna introduce all the players here. We'll let the announcer introduce them to you.
Quarterback, Bloodstown, J.D. Jerry. Quarterback, North Florida Christian. Patrick Hampton, linebacker, Madison County. T.J. Ward, linebacker, North Florida Christian. Russell Russ, Moultrie High School. Quinn Lee, tight end, Madison County. Cortavius Garrett, wide receiver, Sneeds. Shelton Watson,
Got a little applause for Sneeds.
Hunter Busson, kicker, Wakulla. Vaughn Hayes, wide receiver, North Florida Christian.
State champion, North Florida Christian.
Linebacker, Godby. Jamal Calhoun,
A little crowd for Godby.
Rickers. Montanius Moore, FAMU, DRS. Darian Vaughn, defensive back, Mosley. Cordell Clay, running back, Florida High. Keldrick Pompey,
Godby blowing kisses to the crowd. That would be Coach Corey Fuller's boys.
defensive back, Godby. Rufus Townsend, fullback, Franklin County. Cam Richardson, linebacker, Childs High School. Keon Pollock, a safety, FAMU DRS. Anthony Norton, Rickers. Marcus Gant, linebacker,
Norton,
County.
former
Abdul
academic student of the game.
back, Leon. Peyton Edwards, defensive back, Godby. Alex Thomas, linebacker, Lincoln. Evan Courtney, linebacker, Wakulla Christian. Caleb Matthews, running back, Lincoln. Eric Blackshear,
Arcilla Christian, not Archula.
Devontae Glover,
A lot of skill position players with Florida.
Anderson, linebacker, Florida High. James Shore, kicker, Godby. Isaiah Henley, defensive back from Lincoln. McKinley Wilson, linebacker from Richard. Keon Zaccaro, linebacker, Fort St. Joe. Jalen Randolph,
Port St. Joe with the purple shoes, those shoes. Q-Dog colors.
halfback from McClay. Kendall Moore, defensive lineman from Mosley. Jordan Jones, defensive lineman.
Chris, where's the beef?
They're coming up. They should be getting into the linemen here soon.
Akil Green, defensive tackle, Rickers.
Going by number, so you know old linemen are coming after these 40s.
County. Charles White, defensive line, Lincoln. Nick Smith, defensive line, Mosley.
Some of the linemen look a little tired once they jog out.
Hey, that's about a 50-yard jog.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a lot to ask of a lineman. We play in short bursts.
Gabe Key, offensive lineman, Wakulla. Quentin Jones, defensive line, Godby. Eli Hartsfield, offensive line, Childs. Xavier Nelson, linebacker, FAMU DRS.
Ooh, some of them huffing.
Offensive line, Sneeds. Camarius Smith, offensive line from Lincoln. Evan Quigley, offensive line from Lincoln. Travis Day, offensive line, Taylor County. Tamani Utley, offensive line, Godby. Jemiah Dawsey, offensive line, Godby High School. Anthony Belton, offensive line, Florida High.
Evan Quigley, offensive line, Lincoln. Another Dr. Woodard, academic student of the game in their broadcast with Lincoln High School.
Aaron Baca,
That's two of them I spotted, identified.
Sanchez forward,
Yvonne Quigley from Lincoln. And from Rickards. That's two of them. Academic students.
And Deshaun Davis, wide receiver, Jefferson County. That's your team, Florida.
And there's a pretty good representation of parents and fans from Florida.
Georgia, number 1, Tyreek Williams, wide receiver from Colquitt County. Juwan Williams, defensive back, Colquitt County. KT Wilson, wide receiver, Colquitt County. Anthony Brooks, linebacker, Bainbridge. Akeem McKeever,
State championship team, Bainbridge. They closed school down in Bainbridge to go to the state championship.
from Thomasville.
Like you said, they do not play about football in Georgia.
They do not play.
County. Edwin McDonald, wide receiver, Colquitt County. Jack Kimbrell, quarterback from Deerfield. Number 11, Cameron Goolsby, running back from Cairo. Matthew Jackson,
We saw Cairo 2 years ago, INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week.
Keyshawn Jackson, wide receiver from SGA. Jaheim Hampton, defensive back from Cairo. Satchel Wise, linebacker from Monroe. Quay Edwards, running back.
All the way from Albany.
Amari Pettis, linebacker, Thomas County Central. Ronald Smith, safety.
Referees trying to line up the captains.
Devon Samuel, defensive back, Thomasville.
Looks like Florida's going with two of the quarterbacks for their captains.
Higbee, linebacker from Early County. Jakravian Brown, linebacker from Thomasville. Trey Florence, safety from Thomasville. Kevin Kroller, running back.
Georgia looks a little bigger than the Florida guys here.
Norrisburg,
Yeah, we'll see if that'll pay off or not. Just because they're bigger doesn't necessarily mean they're more skilled, but
linebacker from Lee
definitely will have a say in the game tonight.
Price, linebacker, Lee County. Shondarius Kimbrough, running back, Lee County. Carson Goodwin, linebacker from Worth County. Octavian Parks, linebacker from Monroe. Aaron Hare, fullback and linebacker from SGA. Chris Stovall, running back and linebacker from Miller. Quincy Carnegie, tight end, Thomasville. Josh Hadley, tight end from Colquitt County. Elvin Mallory, defensive line.
He doesn't have his helmet on. Does that mean he's not playing, Chris?
Linebacker, Charter.
Possibly.
Alex Henson, defensive line.
Or did he want to make sure everybody saw him?
Bryce Worthy, linebacker.
That would have sounded like something that Johnny Cofield would have did. Johnny Cofield would have ran out there without a helmet on so people could see him.
DJ Bozeman, long
Hey.
snapper from Lee County.
Think maybe he's tending to an injury he might have suffered in practice this week.
Andrew Peoples, offensive line and long snapper from Thomas County Central. Larry Williams,
The coaching staff from Georgia made their jog a little shorter for their guys. Florida ended up being 40, 45 yards, but Georgia cut theirs down. They knew these guys were blowing a little heavy.
Jaquez Jackson, offensive line, Monroe.
That might pay dividends in the first quarter. We'll see in the trenches.
Jaden Dunwoody, offensive line, Early County. Davion McGill, offensive line, Monroe. Brooks Watson, offensive line from Miller. Aaron Atkins, offensive line.
Georgia probably said they don't have to hold their blocks as long.
Comedian Barnes,
We'll see.
offensive line from Colquitt. And Reagan Harrell, punter from Lee County. Let's hear it for Team Georgia.
Man, we've kind of gone through this. That kickoff is not close to 6:30 time.
But at
And
last,
this INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week, and we're going to come back. We thought we came back last time for the kickoff. Maybe we'll come back for the kickoff this time. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week. We'll be right back.
Officiating crew tonight, Fort Dixon, Thomas Brown, Scott Burgess, Chris Jennings, Stephen Stewart,
And we're getting ready to have the captains come out, flip the coin there. And we're here. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week. We're here in Thomasville, Georgia. We're here for the War of the Border between Florida and Georgia. 2019 All-Star Game. We're here in Veterans Memorial Stadium. You still have time to find your way over here. You're caught up in traffic. Just keep on coming.
The fans are still filing in. We were a little worried before kickoff here, but it seems like the stands are starting to fill up some.
Oh, man. A little anticipation. Talking about a slow buildup. Man, it's like Alaga syrup falling off the table. It's taking a long time to get this game. Hey, go by Crawfordville Lindy's. It's enough time. You can go to Crawfordville, get your chicken, and come back. At this rate, it will not be a kick yet. 2120 Crawfordville Highway. Terry Robinson and Jerome, supporters of INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week, sponsors of the pregame show. Go over there and get some of that hot chicken. You don't have to go to Nashville. All you got to do is go to Crawfordville. That hot chicken pretty good. Take it from a man who knows. Get some red beans and rice. We keep trying to tell them get a large order of French fries. They don't want to do that. They want to stay with the one size fit all. I said for some of us with a larger girth, we need a big one.
Us former linemen in life.
Oh, man, I hear you. I told you this is going to be slow.
Closer to the 7 o'clock kick we all predicted earlier.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Almost at that 7 o'clock kickoff. The guys have not warmed up or stretched in at least 35, close to 45 minutes.
Yeah, they left the field a little after 6, probably around 6:15.
Yeah, about 6:15.
Came back around 6:30.
Oh, they just now flipped the coin. What they were doing out there, signing the helmets?
Looks like
the guys have not, even though the guys have not been playing consistently, they're not in the best of shape. They were able to stretch and get ready to play. I know they're young and they really feel like, stretching is not something they have to do. They do. You even see the referees bouncing up and down, so getting a little chilly, just trying to make sure their muscles are warmed up. Right now, to anything else, we're just concerned about the safety of the student athletes.
You know what, Coach? I'd say that for these players, they shouldn't be out of shape. If they really expect to get to the next level out of this game, or maybe impress someone to potentially get to the next level out of this game, they should still be in the same shape they're in the end of the season.
Chris, are you crazy? Chris, you guys, that wasn't that long ago you were playing. Man, y'all miss a weekend and don't run. Y'all be about to die when you come to practice.
I'm just saying, for someone looking to make a name, maybe get an offer, they really should not be thinking about any kind of offseason, especially with signing day coming up. And if you really expect yourself to get an offer, you have to work for it.
Now, that's true. No doubt about that. I just know in my meager experience of coaching, if you took 2 or 3 days off, there were a lot of times you almost like you were starting over.
But, yeah, I would not be shocked if many of these players sat at home for a couple weeks because, hey, you definitely need body recovery. You need that recovery period. But many of these guys should still be in game shape.
I wonder if they're from Florida and Georgia. And Georgia is kicking off. They just moved Florida receiving line up to the 45. They were back at the 50. And there's the kick. Short kick. Catches it on the first bounce. Tackled there at the 24.
Russell Russ on the return. Athlete out of Moultrie.
So I guess we're going
Looks like wide receiver Von Hayes was trying to sport the Ezekiel Elliott halter top look, and the ref told him he had to pull that down for this first snap here.
taking Georgia just a little bit to pick up their man in their defensive coverage here. Yeah, nice hit there, but looks like that was almost a 10-yard carry.
Yeah, he definitely got off the ball very fast there.
Yeah, they're a little slow over here on the sticks, trying to move the sticks down.
First down, Florida.
Yeah, they don't have the sticks down yet. Going back, same play.
Matthews right back to that right side, and he's showing a little bit of shiftiness getting to that corner.
Isn't that Caleb Matthews?
Yes, sir, right
Yeah,
out of Lincoln.
Yeah, we've seen him play all year.
Blackshear on the carry.
He's turning that. They turning that corner quick.
Tackle made by
Looks like a 6-yard gain.
second down.
They're gonna come to the wide side of the field in a minute.
High
Bad
snap,
snap.
he mishandles it. Gets control. And
And
makes
a
a first down.
J.D. Jerry on the keeper.
Florida starting with Jerry out of North Florida Christian at quarterback. Do you think they will do every series or every quarter, or how do you think they'll balance the
We've seen
playing
them do
time?
it both ways. Last year they alternated in the same series. So, and J.D. Jerry, North Florida Christian.
Jerry.
Throwing wasn't necessarily his strong suit. He's a good field general. Played behind Trey Fisher, who transferred from North Florida Christian to Gobby last year, or this year. Led him to a state championship in North Florida Christian, though.
Just a little bit wide on that throw to the sidelines there. Brings up a 2nd and 10.
I like the size of that line on Georgia. That defensive line has some size on it.
But they're still getting manhandled up front by Florida.
Caleb Matthews on the carry.
Well, a little difference when they ran up the middle. The first 2 runs were wide. That Florida speed was apparent. They were able to turn that corner on them.
Yeah, we mentioned in the pregame about how Georgia seems to be a bit bigger than Florida, and from early on, Florida's been using that speed advantage that comes with that. Trying to get them with the hard count there. Good discipline by that Georgia defensive line.
4 wide outs. And sat in the middle there. Good pass and catch.
By
Looks like
Cortavious
another
Garrett,
first down.
wide receiver out of Sneeds.
Cortavious Garrett.
Good throw right there by J.D. Jerry.
And the tackle for Georgia, Amari Pettis. First down, Florida.
Florida trying to keep the tempo. Try to run up tempo offense there.
That's another factor in facing a team that you're a little bit smaller, a little bit faster than. You get to work in that tempo, and they can tire
Over the
around
middle.
fast.
Nice throw. Good execution there. J.D. Jerry.
Great play
Sharp.
fake. You see how he rolled that fake out?
He held it for a long time while he was making the decision if he was going to give it to him or not.
Sure did. It's the classic run pass option that they're talking about all the time these days.
You're exactly right. That RPO was they executed it well.
Yeah. Florida brings some beef in. Looks like they're in modified
Whoa.
wishbone.
Oh, now that's he didn't get behind his blockers quick enough.
Caleb Matthews on the carry.
They had big Demaya Dawsey leading the way, offensive lineman out of Gobby. Lined him up in like a fullback type position.
They running the triple cheeseburger there. Trying to pound it in.
And it looks like he got
should
in
be
there.
A quick touchdown by Florida as they take a 6-0 lead. A big play on the 3 passes by J.D. Jerry. The coaches are really on him over there trying to get substitutions in on the side. Kicker sitting there trying to count them.
Florida did
He's slow getting out there.
Florida did a good job of getting Caleb Matthews established this drive. Got him some great runs in, moved the ball down the field with timely play actions, and got into the end zone pretty fast. See if Georgia can respond. Late substitution for Florida.
Florida was not real organized on the extra point there at all. I don't believe they're allowed to pressure the kick in the All-Star game. And it's good. 7-0, 11:55. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week at the Florida-Georgia All-Star Game. We'll be back for this kickoff in just a minute. INSiiGHTS Underwriters, Cumulus Radio, Crawfordville Lindy's, Bill Durham and Associates, Import Authority, Lowry Masonry and Construction, Tallahassee Accident and Rehab, Events by B, the Wooded Foundation of Miami, Florida, Data Set Ready, and Gary Simmons, WCTV2, FAMU 20, FAMU School of Journalism, Studio 13, INSiiGHTS.com, Wendy's, Northside Kiwanis, and Leon County Sheriff's Department and Sheriff Walt McNeil. And we got a 7-0 game here.
We saw how Florida was able to use that speed advantage that we've been mentioning the whole night against Georgia with their offense. Now we can see if maybe they'll be able to do the same thing on defense, or if the beef of Georgia will be too much for their defense to handle.
I'm a fan. I want to see touchdowns.
For sure. It's an all-star game.
I want to see an offensive showing. I want them up and down the field. That's what I want. And we're getting a pretty decent crowd still coming in. If you're listening to the sound of our voice and you're within 30 miles, come on over, watch the game. Support these high school stars that you won't get a chance to see play again here. Give them your respect for what they've done and what they've given you the last 3 and 4 years. High left-footed kickoff, received at the 18.
Nas Graven's trying to get the corner.
Oh, he turned the corner on that, didn't he?
Turned the corner, then tried to turn on the Jets. Got up to about 36 there.
At least for that one play, you were able to see a little bit of the speed there.
Georgia saying
Florida had an angle on him, but he just hit a different gear, ran around him.
Georgia coming out the gate and saying, hey, we're not just beef. We got some speed, too.
College coaches, people watching. You always have alumni who always act like they know who you need to be recruiting. Well, send a link to the game to the schools that you think, if it's your hometown school and you think they need to see these players, send them the link. They can see it for themselves. Costs nothing. All INSiiGHTS live streams are free. Ooh.
Georgia starts out trying to get wide receiver Tyreek Williams in space out of a double running back shotgun set, and it went for about a loss of half a yard.
Every Florida defensive lineman and linebacker has sprinted to the ball. They were 7 deep on the ball.
Over the top, a little bit too high.
A little bit too high.
For tight end Josh Hadley out of Colquitt County in Georgia.
Man, that's Anthony Norton from Ricketts came up there and popped him. Dr. Arthur Woodard, academic student of the game with a 4.26 grade point average.
Florida trying to force a quick 3-and-out here. See if they can get off the field.
Here comes the
Here
blitz.
comes the rush. He has to check it
and
down.
A hit there.
And Florida definitely has momentum. 23 is Scandrius Pinckney. 23, Cam Richardson, linebacker out of Childs.
They brought 3-and-out. Ended up with negative yardage.
Got all-purpose player Russell West back there to return.
Okay, there's a whistle. Something about that face mask? Equipment malfunction.
Number 7.
Substitution there.
7. T.J. Ward had to leave the field of play.
I don't think they could rush the punt either. I'm just trying to remember from last year. Short kick.
Takes a favorable bounce for Georgia. Checks up about the 41.
At the 41, the INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week will be right back. Florida coming out with confidence.
Looks like they went to Peacock out of Blountstown at quarterback this drive.
Good observation there. We saw him earlier in the year when they played Florida High. Whoa.
And running back Parker
And
Wilson
look at
out
the
of
quarterback
Leon.
down there throwing a block.
And it looks like they got his face mask there, and yeah, there's the flag. Looks like number 15, Jaheim Hampton, got a hold of the face mask to go along with about the 25-yard run there from Parker Wilson.
That's a running back from Leon. Leon and Lincoln representing themselves well with the speed in their running backs. Bounced it outside, turned the corner. And one of the things that was very impressive was the quarterback, Trent Peacock, a senior from Blountstown. He got out here and was trying to lead the blocking for him.
And with that face mask penalty, Florida is already knocking on the door of the red zone after one play here.
They're down on what's that, the 26.
1st and 10 from the 26-yard line.
Line up in an empty set. 4 receivers to one side of the field.
And they're giving them 10 yards over there. Trent has the ability to run too now. He's a dual threat quarterback.
This pass was a little short of wide receiver Shelton Watson that time.
And coming in, he was the quarterback out of the Florida 2 that was considered to have the better arm. But you couldn't tell it in the first series by J.D. Jerry, who did an excellent job of running the offense. Still giving them a lot of yardage up top. Oh, he bobbled the handoff.
Yeah, that exchange between Wilson and Peacock isn't looking as smooth as the exchange between Jerry and Matthews from the first drive. See if Georgia can get off the field here.
Roll out to the right.
And he has a man.
Not enough.
He checked it down, but I felt he had a man becoming open, streaking toward the end zone. But checked it down for about a gain of 3, and it's going to bring up 4th down. You think they're going for it or field goal here?
I heard the coach yell field goal. So that would be unfair for me to act as if I was making a guess. I already heard him.
Florida looking to take a 10-0 lead early in the first quarter here.
Which would be a positive for the Georgia defense if they come out of this just giving up 3.
Yeah, for sure. They were down. They were in the hole after that penalty, after a 25-yard run. Basically, 40-yard play, first play of the drive. And they ended up forcing field goal here. No rush.
Plenty of leg there. And it's good. A 42-yard field goal that makes the score 10-0. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week. We'll be right back. Our next live stream game will be tomorrow night. We'll be back here in Thomasville as arch rival basketball game between Thomas County and Thomasville High. Boys at 7 o'clock tip-off. We'll be back over here in Thomasville to bring that game to you live. Myself and Coach Gene Granger from McClay High School and GBL Online We'll be in Thomasville Gym to bring that to you live and in color. Up on the stream, we had an INSiiGHTS Classic. Last night, we had our first doubleheader live stream game, Florida High and Gaston County. Boy, it was a humdinger. That doggone boys game changed hands 3 different times in the last 30 seconds of the game. Florida High, 1-by-1. You can go up on our website, INSiiGHTS.com, INSiiGHTS. It's up there. Much better kickoff. He kicked that back to the 1.
Wide receiver Jaquavion Hill looking to make
Florida's
a play.
already zeroed in on that. Here they come, headhunt.
Florida definitely looks like they've come out ready for this one.
That was an excellent kick.
So, Coach, what are some things you've seen from Georgia in the first drive that you think they need to fix?
First down, Georgia.
You got me on that, Coach. Right now, they have to establish themselves on the line a little bit. Trying to go wide almost plays in the hands of the speed of Florida, the Florida defenders. Florida's faster than they are. You would think that they would have tried to establish themselves right up the middle. You also notice that the cornerbacks from Florida crowd the defender. They're right up on them in man-to-man coverage. Open field there. Got a flag.
Quarterback Jack Kimbrell got drilled there, too.
Yes, he did.
But that's the second straight time Georgia's came out and tried that little flare pass to the running back, first play of the drive. Last drive, it didn't work. This time, way more successful.
Way more successful by the hair on the chinny chin.
With maybe a
He was
penalty.
one step away from getting his face mask dented.
Official call is holding against Georgia.
And there's a holding.
And it's coming back.
It came on that stunt, and it came wide open on that.
So despite the size advantage, the sense that I'm getting early is that Georgia still feels that they're the faster team than Florida. They've came out and tried to outflank them on most of their plays. So do you think the size advantage will start to just play against them now?
I don't think it'll play against them, but it might wear Florida down as the game goes on. But right now, that Georgia's going quickly the other way.
It's basically going to be first and they're moving
Well,
the
they keep
sticks
moving
again.
this flag, don't they? Okay.
First and 10, Georgia.
First and 10, Georgia.
This is
After
good cornerback coverage up in man-to-man.
Deerfield keeps it. It's taken down near the backfield.
Quigley on the camper.
We got a positive play, all of 2 yards. Second down and 8. 8:19 left in the first quarter. We've been watching football so long in high school for the last 6 weeks.
Ooh, Deerfield tried to go deep and intercepted there by 41, Elgin Rhymes. Line.
Pass intercepted by number 31, Elgin Ryan.
Yeah, he underthrew him badly.
It's first and 10, Florida.
Receiver was open by 5 yards.
Yeah, if he would have put a little bit more air under that, it might have been a touchdown actually.
Oh,
but
yeah. Yeah, he came clean on it.
goes to show that football is truly a game of inches.
Man.
But how about the ball skills there by Rhymes? Actually, I believe that might have been Jalen Randolph, the linebacker out of FAMU DRS.
Under center here. That play worked early for Florida. Looks like it's about a 8-9 yard gain.
Yeah, and then Florida has Jerry back in at quarterback, so I'm guessing they're going to go drive by drive with the two.
It looks like they're alternating receivers alternating quarterbacks.
I think they're alternating
other series.
quarterbacks and running backs.
Second down.
Keeping them fresh, huh? Second and 2.
Another mishandled snap. They got it off, though.
Nothing up the middle there.
This will bring up third and
Defense from
short.
Georgia settling down just a little bit now.
Maybe this is where Georgia wants them. They have that beefy defensive line. Third and short should be where they thrive.
Georgia needs to make a stand.
Trying to hard count again. Georgia showing great discipline, didn't jump at all. Didn't even flinch. Jerry's going to pass for it on third and short.
Oh. Georgia with a big hit over there. You got number 12, Matthew Jackson from Cairo. We saw him year before last playing Thomasville. It's fourth down.
And it looks like Florida's going to go.
All-star game, nothing to lose here.
If I was the kicker, I'd be pretty upset. I mean, it's an all-star game. Want to show off that leg, huh?
Want to show off the leg. 6 minutes, 44 seconds.
Florida has trips to the top of the field. Great pitch and catch there,
Great catch.
and a late
First
flag
down.
might be for holding.
Yeah, that's back in the holding territory.
Looked like 71 Anthony Belton got his defender on the ground. I'm not sure by what means, though.
Yeah, bringing 71 out now.
Might have just cost him the first down there. We'll see what the ref has to say.
Anthony Belton, Florida High.
It looks like the penalty's on Georgia. They're moving the sticks forward.
A big penalty.
And it's the second time now Georgia's had this happen. Penalty
Personal
takes Florida
foul.
right to the red zone.
Against Georgia.
I wouldn't be shocked if Jerry kept this. Hands it off.
He hit the hole quick. Wasn't a lot there.
Marcus Gant on the carry. Tackled by number 45.
Georgia
He's
holding.
going to fake that and keep it next.
Yeah.
Down, Florida.
Georgia holding Florida to a field goal here is pivotal. It's a big difference between down 17-0 and 13-0. Either way, when Georgia gets the ball back, they need to show some kind of initiative on offense.
That's why he was able to go for fourth down earlier, because of the fact that his defense has not allowed Georgia to do much of anything.
Yeah. Georgia's standing out there kind of flat-footed on offense and getting ran by on defense.
Missed him that time.
Yep, had him on the slant.
Pass incomplete. Brings up third down.
Intended for wide receiver Shelton Watson out of Moultrie.
Everybody's kind of with bated breath. Georgia waiting to see what happens. The Georgia fans know that this is kind of a big play for them.
Watch tight
Even though
end.
it's an all-star game. Like you said, 17-0 in the first quarter. That's a pretty tough hill to come back on.
Watch tight end Quinn Lee out of the backfield here. They're moving him around a little bit. And
There's the fake
he was
we
the
call.
lead blocker there.
There's the fake we call.
And Jerry gets into the end zone off the quarterback keep.
That's a touchdown, Florida.
So he's thrown for one and he's thrown for one and ran for one, coach.
Yeah, but he's captained his ship twice and got 2 touchdowns each time he's had the ball. He's been able to engineer offense for them.
So do you think that weighs on Florida head coach Tony Yeomans as he considers which quarterback to go with, or is he just going to stick with
he's going to keep alternating and letting them go. Lining up for the extra point again. There will be no rush. North Florida kicker, Tredarius Langston kicking. No, that's.
James Shores?
Thank you. And that's good. Florida 17, Georgia 0. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week will be back. And we're back. 17-0.
Coach, Georgia has to get points on this drive, or I feel like the players will start to lose motivation because it is an all-star game at the end of the day. Not really much at stake other than getting noticed or getting your name out there. So once you get down in the hole, I'm pretty sure it'll be kind of hard for these Thomasville coaches to try to motivate the Georgia team to get out of the rut that they're in against this Florida squad.
And I kind of see it the other way. They'll continue to play because this may be their last chance to play, and they need to play not so much – they'll turn it from playing for the team into playing for themselves and trying to make sure that they look good on tape so they can get an opportunity to play somewhere.
Somewhat of
Short
a pooch kick. Graves trying to get it to the corner.
He ran out of the arms of that tackle. He looked like he probably ran 30 yards north, gained 1 yard.
Tackled by number 30, Peyton Edwards. 1st and 10, Georgia.
Ready to see what Georgia comes out with this drive. If they try to throw some trick plays in there maybe, or anything to try to get them going a little bit.
Well, one thing they need to do is come out with something, Chris.
I wonder if they start with the flare pass again.
They're minus again. They're minus yardage. We already – well, I'm looking at some of these referees. They're getting a bigger workout than the offense on the Georgia side. Florida looks a little confused with players still coming out of the game.
Thomasville's been going with Jack Kimball at quarterback the whole game. I'm shocked they haven't thought to go to Dylan Johnson yet with how stagnant the offense has been.
And they might change it at the end of the quarter, I'm sure. Just a different and all-star philosophy between the coaching staff. Whoa, it might
36,
be gone.
Chris Stovall.
Might be gone.
He's saying Georgia's not done yet. Touchdown run, first play, 36, Chris Stovall, running hard.
That was an impressive run because he put his head down
And Georgia
and ran over 3 people and didn't know that he was wide open. And when he looked up, he said, "Oh my goodness," and took off.
Georgia's dancing and jumping around in the end zone.
And they should be. That breathed life into them.
Let's see how Florida can respond. It was Georgia's turn for a big play.
We needed that. We needed some excitement on the Georgia side.
Definitely a breath of life into this all-star game.
Yes, it did. He ran over 3 people.
A little bit of beast mode there.
Exactly.
And they missed the extra. Looks like it went a little left, but might just be my view up here.
INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week. We'll be back for this kickoff. And we're back. We got a chance to see the replay on it. What was your thought on that extra point, Chris?
It looked like to me that he missed it.
Hey, you said it when he kicked it that he looked like he missed it. Then when
Yeah.
you saw it on the replay, you still felt like he missed it.
Yeah, I feel like it went a little bit left, but I'm not sure if it's the way I'm sitting in my chair or not. So I'll trust the refs on this one. 17-7 Florida. Georgia just getting on the board for the first time.
Christoph was trying to let him know that he could run the ball. He's been an excellent defender playing the linebacker spot for him. But he was running here, running right to our window. We could see him with his head down. And after he bounced off about the 3rd person, he was by himself, and then he shifted gears. And that speed that we've been talking about with Florida, they weren't able to catch him. It's a good run, puts the Georgia fans back into the game. It sends a shot to the Florida defense that you have to continue to play to the game isn't over with.
If I'm a college scout or even a coach, I see that run, and I want Stovall on my team because his team's down 17-0, and he comes out the first play and shows, hey, let me show y'all how this is done.
Which is always a positive to recruiters and coaches to see how the young men respond to adverse situations. I'm not sure why he was hesitating on that return. It looked like he was watching it for a minute to see if it would open up before he even tried to fill the gap. Once he tried to put his head down, he wasn't able to get to the 20-yard line on it.
Florida had a penalty on the extra point. I believe one of their players rushed. So Georgia got the kick from the 50, so that might have affected his timing a little bit.
When you see that gap, you better run.
Hey.
This is the worst field position Florida's had. Let's see what Georgia does if they keep them back up here.
22, Rufus Townsend on the carry. He's carrying it in that inside arm. It's kind of dangerous. But able to pick out about 4 or 5 there, set up a 2nd and 6.
Did they alternate quarterbacks again with Peacock? Yes, he is.
Yep, Peacock's back in there.
And we have an official timeout. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week. Taking a break, but we'll be back.
Please support the Thomasville Junior ROTC. Barbecue plates for sale. They're down in the concession stands. A sandwich, drinks, and chips. All in support of the Junior ROTC at Thomasville High School.
They just pulled the stretcher out over on the Georgia side. It's at the 40 to 45-yard line. I hope it's just merely precaution. No, there's somebody down at the 40-yard line on the Georgia sideline.
I don't believe it was from the play, though.
That's not one of the coaches, is it? That's one of the coaches. We hope that he's okay and that this is merely precautionary. They moved the players to the other end. They're trying to talk him into getting on the stretcher. That is Todd Mobley, former principal at Thomasville High, in the shorts with his back to us, next to the gentleman in the red shirt.
Refs just blew for play to start back up here. Both teams heading back out to the field of play.
We hope that everything is all right over there. Yeah, that's the athletic director from Thomasville High. As they continue the game, we hope that everything's okay there. Looks as if Florida High's kind of staying in the middle there. Their successful plays have been the slant, the RPOs. Georgia quickly trying to get in position here.
This has been Florida's go-to set for big-time plays. They've gone empty when they've needed first downs.
They got 3 wide receivers and 2 cornerbacks on that side.
And they take advantage of it with the screen.
And the jet screen popped it for a first down.
Great situational awareness there by Florida.
Actually should have been able to get more yardage out of that than the play they got.
First down, Florida.
4 minutes left in the first quarter. Score Florida 17, Georgia 7.
They got all-purpose player Russell Russ in the slot here. See if they go to him. They hand it off to Townsend again. And he's able to pick up about 4.
Hard 4 right there. Georgia's been able to slow the bleeding down just a little bit. Yes, they're carrying the coach out. They have him strapped up in the wheelchair and removing him from the field. Hopefully all is well there. Thank you for that camera shot on it.
Looks like one of the wide receivers got an early start.
Oh,
no flag. Going deep. And through the hands of number 10, Cortavius Garrett, who had the first down catch earlier. But I believe 8 Russell Russ at the top of the field. He got away with a false start there on the last one. Kind of the arena football start where you can go before the snap.
AD, Chris, and Todd Mobley both leaving. Remember, a lot of the coaches on the sideline from Thomasville High. And we have a timeout call by Georgia. And we're going to stay here. They're headed to the ambulance.
It's a big 3rd and 7 for both teams here. Georgia took the timeout as they load the coach into the ambulance right outside the field.
If it's one of the Thomasville coaches, it kind of takes a little bit of the air out of the sail for the young men on that sideline over there. Coach is sitting up, and he's pointing at Todd Mobley, which would be normal. Everybody kind of points and talks stuff to Todd. He's involved with everybody. He's a city commissioner. He's sitting up. The coach is sitting up, and that's a positive sign.
Yeah, he's definitely responsive. Looks like he's able to speak. He knows what's going on. It looks like it's all precautionary, but you never know.
And we'll keep our prayers for him and his family. Third down. Florida has not punted today.
They went empty again. Let's see if they pick it up.
Across the middle.
And there's Russell Russ.
He has found the middle of that zone 3 or 4 times in this first quarter. That's a big play. They signaled the first down.
I'm kind of shocked that either team would decide to go with a zone often in the All-Star game, just because zone defense is something you need great communication for, and these are all-star teams. These aren't teams that have that chemistry with each other.
Boy, the coaches on the Thomasville side are very animated.
It's kind of
something
hectic
they did not, something they didn't like that they saw.
Procedural call against Georgia.
How many players do they have on the field?
And it's the Georgia team, coach, not the Thomasville team. Although their coaching lineup may say otherwise.
No. They're in the Thomasville colors.
On Thomasville field as the home team. 1st and 5 here.
He
Keep
kept
for
that one again.
Deerfield. He runs through a tackle against the first.
Through it.
Strong run there from Peacock.
Ran through that tackle. You're exactly right.
Maybe the DB wasn't expecting that from the quarterback.
The Florida quarterbacks, they don't give none, don't ask none. All the momentum with Florida team still. He ran out of 2 tackles there for loss. Got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, this is a nice response by Florida. After Georgia had the big play, they knew they couldn't go 3 and out here, so they moved the ball. They've gotten into about field goal range. Let's see how this drive ends up for them.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 2 seconds. War of the border, Florida-Georgia All-Star game. Tallahassee Thomasville edition. Another penalty against Georgia. Another big one.
Takes them right into the red zone for the third straight time. That's 3 times now Georgia has had a penalty that put Florida into the red zone or on the edge of it. Peacock with the empty backfield again.
Trips to the right.
Wouldn't be shocked this is a slant here. And it's a keeper. Good for about 6 up the middle.
Now there's an example of a hole he could not run it. The offensive line from Florida is carving them up.
I'm not going to do this a lot tonight, but I will say if that was J.D. Jerry, that might have been a touchdown.
115, 114. It fell. Fell. Nothing but green in front of him.
Townsend on the carry again, and like Coach said, he got caught up by the turf monster there trying to cut through the hole.
Yeah, that artificial turf was a little angry. Reached up and got him.
Big third down here for Georgia. Basically the same thing I was saying last drive. Big difference between being down 24-7 and 20-7.
Inside a minute.
They brought the meat back in. Probably
There
going to be a
goes
run right up the
the
gut.
triple cheeseburger.
There it is. He's following the blockers. He gets the first, short of the end
But
zone.
he fell
though.
again. Florida, Florida's trying to score on this end of the field. That's
First and goal, Florida.
they're lining up quick.
You expect either one of the big boys to get a handoff in this package tonight or no?
You might as well.
It is an
It's
all-star game.
It is an all-star game. Give them something they'll never forget.
And they're following him again. There's Townsend. He might have scooted under for it.
I think
They're ruling him short, though. If Florida wants to score before the quarter's out, they're going to need to get hurried to the line.
he did not get in. 14 seconds, 17-7.
First quarter's winding down, and looks like Florida's just going to take it here.
First quarter, and we're reached the end. Florida 17, Georgia 7. But Georgia is trying to hold off the Sunshine players from Florida. They're getting ready to come back. We'll take a break with them, but we'll come back for the second quarter, see how this goes. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week. We'll be right back.
Give a big round of applause to the Thomasville band tonight as well.
Here my referee sprinting the floor. He getting his workout in, sprinting to the line.
100-yard dash.
100-yard dash. I saw head coach from Lincoln High School, former quarterback, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Quinn Gray, on the sideline with some of his players. Georgia defense huddled up together there at the 45-yard line.
Georgia can manage to hold on to 3 here. I wouldn't be shocked if they came right back with another big play. Because that one run by Stovall, you can tell it did something to this team. And while their defense hasn't maybe came out with their heads on fire like the offense did, just for the offense to get something going, period, in this game after coming out with that such a slow start, it was pivotal. Like, it needed to happen for this Georgia team to make this game competitive.
You're exactly right. The only disappointing thing was, and for Georgia, was that the defense didn't respond. The offense of Florida did exactly what they were supposed to do. They were in their worst field position so far in the game, and they came straight down the field.
This might be a sneak here. He runs into Townsend. It's going to be a loss of 5.
You're exactly right. What do we have, a 4th down coming up here? 3rd down. Here comes your RPO.
I wouldn't be shocked if this was another keeper here.
Yeah, I'd look for him to fake it and keep it.
But Georgia has to know it's coming too.
That was more
They still
kind
have
of
the lead in.
carelessness a little bit on the offensive side than anything that the defense did, but they still have the all beef package in there.
And they go with the play fake. He should keep it. And he has a man. Was that the beef? He tried to throw to the beef target.
He
55.
did.
Quentin Jones,
And there's a
defensive
flag.
lineman.
A late flag.
He had him open just a little bit too high for the big man.
That's all right. It's an all-star game, but there's a flag down there.
That's pretty good play design there by Florida.
They just brought the beef out, so. Long time to decide what the call is. Could be an eligible receiver with them being confused with the beef package.
Looks like Florida's already decided they're going to kick this. They have the kicker out there, number 12, Hunter Boosin.
Okay, they're over there talking to Coach Grades, Thomasville High. They called an eligible receiver, didn't they? Which I could see very easily how that could have been mistaken with the beef package that you had in the numbers. So it's fourth down. Yeah, they'll attempt to kick here.
Oh, so they are going to access the ineligible receiver. Look like they took him half the distance back. No objection from the Florida sideline, so, hey. Should be a little bit more of a challenge for the kicker here. And that one went
Good, 20-7. Don't say it. Look, Chris, I'm not gonna say anything. It's a good field goal score. 27-14-11. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week. We'll take a break. We're gonna get Chris Eyes examined. He's favoring the left a little bit. All right, we're back. We need to have a camera up here in the booth. When they kicked that one, Chris looked like, what in the world? Oh, Chris.
It has to be the angle I'm sitting at that it makes it appear on this south goalpost here that their kicks are a little bit left.
Chris, you're making me choke up here. Chris, you're making
But I will say the wind is blowing toward the left a little bit. Like the flags at the top of the goalpost are leaning toward the left. So we'll see if that comes.
Chris, you made me laugh. I haven't laughed that much today since thinking about Johnny Cofield over there. Yeah. You funnier than them, and that takes something to be funnier than Johnny Cofield. And here's the kick. He has blockers in front of him. He ran around the blockers and tackled him.
Felt like he ran straight into the teeth of the defense. But as it stands, number 11, Cameron Gooseby on the return. Gets about to the 25.
Let's see who Georgia puts at quarterback this time.
30-yard line.
Let's see if they go with Dylan Johnson this time. They're taking a long time over there.
And it looks like
at halftime, I'm going to have to talk to Ira Reynolds. His job was to keep Johnny Cofield under control, and I know that's a hard job. But I was supposed to keep Johnny Cofield under control. Johnny was my neighbor boy. Whenever somebody needed amusement, they go to Johnny's house. Oh, he faked it, pulled it back.
Kimbrough's still in that quarterback for Georgia, and he hesitated a little bit on the release there. Resulted in a sack with a loss of about 6 or 7.
Yeah, that pressure.
Lucky for it to not be a fumble. He had about 3 or 4 Florida defenders right in his face after that initial pump fake. He who hesitates is lost. And Kimbrough surely hesitated there.
Wow. Man, that offensive lineman from Georgia came bailing from under there. Cameron Baines from Colquitt. Somebody hit him, almost knocked him down after the play.
It was running back Tevin Thrower on the carry, was able to get back about a yard of what Kimbrough lost on first down, bringing up about a 3rd and 15. Kimbrough has to be careful here. You cannot afford a turnover. Florida comes with the blitz, and they get home.
And he goes down. They are dominating the offensive line of Georgia. 3 and out.
Cortavius Garrett and Russell Russ back to return the punt for Florida. See, despite the run by Stovall on the previous Georgia offensive drive, I still feel like Georgia hasn't really established an identity for themselves in this game.
Marcus Farland on that defensive line, Florida A&M University. He was a hoss out there working with Wakulla. Way go, Marcus. That's why they put the beef team in there. Marcus part of the beef team.
And the punt there by Georgia punter Reagan Harrell took a great bounce and ended up dying at the 35, resulting in about a 45, 50-yard punt.
Man, we got 11:59 to go, 20-7. This Georgia defense has to stiffen up a little bit, some.
Yeah, a turnover here would do wonders for them. See if they start bringing pressure a little bit.
Well, J.D. Jerry,
he's back in the game and he has an empty backfield, so
he's engineered both touchdowns.
And he has a man streaking down the sideline. Big hit, and he still caught it.
Held on to that.
Still hauled it in.
He held on to that.
13,
And a
Von
flag.
Hayes.
And a flag. And a flag.
Excuse me, no. 33, Caleb Matthews, the running back out of the backfield. On
Caleb,
the
sure-handed Caleb running back. Well, this whole crowd hollered on the hit, but it didn't bother Caleb. Out of Lincoln High School, his coach, Quinn Graves, over here on the sideline. That was a big-time catch.
Big-time catch. He knew the contact was coming, and he didn't catch it clean. And he was still able to haul it in.
And another personal foul against Georgia.
And once again, it moves him right onto the brink of the red
always
zone.
has moved him right into the red zone. You identified that early. That's 4 times in a row.
4 times in a row. Is that every drive? It has to be every drive, right?
You're right.
Every drive.
The referee's talking to him now.
I'm still not over that catch by Matthews.
No,
that
the
was,
hit he took and the catch. It didn't. Everybody in the stand up here thought he had dropped it.
Yeah, I thought there was no way he was going to hold on to it because he was
that was
open.
a Sunday catch there.
Sure was. Sure was. Sure as many.
Caleb has energized the sideline over here on Florida.
But it just shows Florida's been doing what they want to the Georgia defense all game.
All game.
And the Georgia defense been compounding it with their penalties.
Caleb playing for his supper here. He can play somewhere.
Sure can. He already showed his shiftiness out the backfield, showed good hands. He's putting together a nice little resume here tonight.
He well put. He took a hit and popped back up. One of Lincoln High School Trojans.
Running back Parker Wilson out of Leon on the carry. He probably got about 2 or 3 there.
Man, that play left a murmur in the stadium.
Sure, as you can still hear it.
Right.
Stadium's still buzzing. Florida's been getting what they want on the edge, but still keeping Georgia honest by running up the middle.
And they set them up with that to run what?
Play action.
There you go.
High snap, and there's the play action. He had 13 streaking toward the end
there's nobody
zone.
on that side of the field. And another flag.
One of Florida's linemen may have got away with a hold as Jerry started to scramble, but I don't think that's what the flag is on. It's at the end of the play toward the sideline there.
One against Florida. You called it, holding. That had to be holding on the wide receiver over there throwing that block.
Yeah.
Florida has not shot themselves at all. They've been able to run relatively penalty-free. Last year's game was probably about 10, 15 degrees colder than this one.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice day tonight.
It is. Almost hiked that over his head again.
Here's Jerry to the end zone. And the receiver, Von Hayes, he had the touchdown catch earlier. He couldn't track it. Jerry had him. Looks like he lost track of the ball. It was a pretty tough catch to make, though.
Then J.D. Jerry rolled out that time, gave himself more time.
Jerry himself is showing something tonight. We're talking about Matthews putting together a little resume. He's showing that he can evade out the pocket, throw on the run.
J.D.'s always been able to scramble a little bit. He wasn't always consistent with his arm, but he does lead a team. He's worth a look. And I understand that he's had some looks. So we will see what his future holds for him. He's been impressive today.
Yeah, his ball placement tonight on his passes has been superb. Like you said,
it has been. It
he
has
dropped
been.
backs again. Tried to escape the pressure and ran into a big hit there. Georgia's hyped up off of the hit.
Georgia pretty excited about that, but they haven't had much to cheer about.
Yeah, now this makes Florida make a decision. It's a pretty long field goal here. And they're going to send the kicker out. 37, James Shores out of Gobby.
I'm gonna piggyback off what you said about JD. JD has done an excellent job today in terms of dispelling some rumors, but one thing he does is he leads a team, and that's the number one thing you want from your quarterback. You could tell the way, even in this setting, the way the team responds to him. Georgia got very excited they were able to get a hit on him. They have not been able to do that all game, and we're into the second quarter now.
He's kicking from the left hash, wind blowing to the left. So we'll see how this one shakes out.
That's about 46 yards.
He doesn't have to worry about a rush.
Long enough, short. No, it's not long enough. And Georgia's pretty excited about that. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week. We'll be right back. Georgia defense finally stiffened, but it was more the 15-yarder on the holding.
Yeah.
Where Florida shot themselves in the foot a little bit.
Georgia's sticking around, and what they say is you let a team stick around, they mess around and beat you. So we both have observed that Florida's been dominating this game, really. Georgia had the one big run by Stovall, but if they can score here, it's just a one-possession game.
That's a big if, but they're going to have to do something. See in front of me here, we have a
Georgia still has Kimbrough in that quarterback. He hands it off to number 32, Shondarius Kimbrough.
Right here, we have the two originators of the event, Mike Gammons and Robbie Lee on the sideline over here on the Florida High side. They're the ones who put this event together. Job well done, gentlemen. Job well done.
Kimbrough looks very uncomfortable back there. And it's having an adverse effect on this Georgia offense.
That's a good observation, Chris.
Like, just that drop back right there. You can tell he was only really looking one direction. His footwork's not really there.
He almost held it 1 second too long with the rush coming in his face. It was almost as if he didn't see it.
And if that ball didn't hit the ground, it would be a first down, but ref comes in and says it did.
And the referee from the back is the one who made the call. My only question then is that the catch, the receiver had his back to him. I don't know how he was able to see that call.
Great observation.
All the refs
there,
in front of
Coach.
him called it completed.
For Kimbrough, that throw, it was a pretty good throw. But yeah, you can tell he just isn't in his rhythm. And getting some
And the
kind
referee that made that call, that's my sprint referee. He's a referee that sprints between each play. At the end of the quarter, he gets his laps in.
wide receiver Von Hayes feels
If
the
he gets
punt.
past that first line,
And made it through a lot of traffic to about the 38-yard line.
First and 10, Florida.
that was Von Hayes, North Florida Christian.
He's made a couple.
He left a
big plays.
buzz with the Georgia fans over there as he kind of sidestepped a few tackles there. Excellent field position if there's no flag on the field.
See the two wide receivers down here talking.
You noticed that, huh?
Russell Russ and D.T. Tompkins. This might be play action over the top here. Florida's trying to come out and strike quick. Peacock back in at quarterback.
They were
Short pass to Russell Russ. He breaks a tackle for about a gain of 1. Probably lost a couple yards there breaking
probably
that tackle.
lost a couple.
You've been hearing me say Russell Russ's name a lot tonight because he's one of the only players on here, if not the only player listed as an athlete, which means he's an all-purpose player, and they've been utilizing him basically as a slot
Boy,
receiver.
they pulled that line, pulled in.
And kick returner
Good
tonight.
pursuit by Georgia.
Georgia's defense has tightened up a little bit here in the second quarter, bringing up another pivotal third down. They can get off the field here. We just seen that the kicker for Florida, well, at least one of them, couldn't hit a field goal from about this range last drive.
Long wide receiver, number 11 from Moultrie. Shady looks like he's about 6'2". They're looking his way.
There's Russ again over the middle. He'll be short of the first down, though.
Is it short of the first down? It is. Fourth down. Florida's going for it.
Fourth down for Florida.
What do you guess this one is here, Coach?
It's about a half yard there. They're running it out of shotgun.
Might be a keeper out of the shotgun with the empty backfield. Wouldn't be shocked to see a screen, though. This has to be a keep with the way these receivers are lined up.
Linebacker's too deep. He's going to run that. Nobody in the middle of that defense. There's your keeper. That's a gimme, Coach.
For sure.
All three linebackers were 7 yards off the line.
I'm not really sure what Georgia was thinking there because they have the trips to the right, and then the single receiver at the top, but they're not really.
And one defensive back on the right. And a player leaving the field from Georgia.
And
just got
Deerfield
off the
making
field.
something out of nothing, completes it to Russ, who jukes to the field. Oh, and the ball pops out. 58, an offensive lineman picks it up, and he's in the end zone for the touchdown. Jay Hayes, offensive lineman out of Sneeds. And no touchdown signal on the field just yet.
That's because nothing ran right on that play. Georgia put one cornerback over here on the trips to the right. The play was in motion. They were scrambling, and Georgia was still running the play off the field.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think Georgia still had someone running on or off the field.
They did. It wasn't close. He was at the 20-yard line where it says 2-0. He was still running right there, jogging off the field.
The offensive line broke down for Peacock, and he made something out of nothing, found Russ, who then juked the defender and fumbled at the 1. And
Now, what did Florida do on this? What was the penalty on Florida?
Florida takes a timeout to assess the situation.
It might take a few minutes to assess what happened there because I see every coach from Florida is on the field as Coach is asking for some clarification here on what it was. It was ugly all the way through.
It may have been, this is just a guess here because they're 5 yards behind the sticks, so only a 5-yard penalty. Might have been ineligible downfield, ineligible receiver downfield. Like one of the linemen may have got downfield.
Okay, what about too many players on the field for Georgia?
The refs may not have caught that because, I mean, the penalty is against Florida.
Chris, he wasn't even close.
But
when the play was in play and they were scrambling, I'm watching him between the 20 and the 25 where the markings on the field, he wasn't close.
And you want to know what's crazy? I seen the player running on the field for Georgia. So we're talking about two different players.
one running on, one running off.
The ball is snapped. Everything.
The play goes left. Then they turn and come back right where it's 3 wide receivers and 1 defensive back. Runs for the touchdown, gets hit, pops in the air. Offensive lineman coming down, number 58, catches in the air, jukes somebody and goes in. That's a highlight play. I don't care how it ended up being recorded. That's a highlight tape.
150, about 150 in the stream. I'll be sure to go look it up after the game.
You know what? That's a good one there. 150 on the stream. I might have to use that one on Twitter and highlight that clip.
So
we got a 20-7 score, 5:46 left in the first half.
First 15 for Florida. Peacock back in the shotgun again. It's been shotgun all night, and he keeps it.
Well, he changed his mind then.
Reverses the field.
Oh, did he change gears? Whoa, he got a late hit, didn't he?
And he gets back the penalty
there's the
yardage.
flag.
Then another penalty
He got hit out of bounds.
on Georgia, and it's going to take Florida into the red zone for the 5th time.
Wow.
Georgia were able to recover from the red zone penalty last defensive drive, I should say.
And we have to huddle on every flag. We can't make we have to huddle on it.
And I never see the refs actually make the call. Like, I guess they just converse amongst themselves, then assess the yardage.
Yes, we got that. It's okay. I spotted. Want to make sure we heard a personal foul. Chris, don't ignore.
Prime territory for a Peacock keep here.
The Florida quarterbacks have been a lot more confident in running their offensive sets and taking control of their offense than what the Georgia quarterbacks have done so far.
Well, the
As
Georgia
you said,
quarterback.
Kimbrich has been a little timid back there, almost unsure of himself in terms of what he's running.
Yeah, I was going to say Georgia quarterback. They've only gone with one tonight, and he has looked a little shaky. I wouldn't be shocked if we seen Dylan Johnson get in within this next drive or maybe after half.
They're probably after half. That's what it looks like now.
There's Dillfield on the
Quick
keep.
feet.
Sure was, huh? Reminded me of brand new Miami quarterback Tate Martell.
Uh-oh.
Transfer from Ohio State. He had quick feet against, I think it was Rutgers. And he made a cut and was off to the end zone. But about a loss of 1 there for Peacock.
Well, Peacock has generated in his offensive possessions 2 field goals. He would like to be able to get them in for a touchdown, at least 1.
They have 4 receivers in the boundary. And maybe a false start here. Offside.
Offside, Georgia. They get a little closer.
And I think this is a keep, too. But I wouldn't be shocked if they went to a little bubble screen out of this, or maybe even a double pass. And they go to the fade and overthrow, but a flag in the end zone. I'm screaming uncatchable if I'm that Georgia sideline.
Well, these Georgia football players they're from the 25 down to the 15. They are down to 25. They are spread out all over.
Pass interference.
Automatic first down. Georgia shooting themselves in the foot with penalties again.
Almost like an all-star game, except you have not seen the same lack of discipline on the Florida side of the ball.
That's why I didn't want to say it, like, because everybody knows the perception about all-star games. And it's been, like, all the positives of an all-star game for Florida and all the negatives for Georgia.
But you didn't want to say that, huh? Wow, he went in almost untouched.
And that time to meet was just too much for Georgia to handle. 26-7, I should say, before the extra point.
Peacock was able to generate the third touchdown for the Florida All-Stars. That's not right. They haven't put it on the board yet.
26.
Should be 26.
Hunter Busson checks in for the extra point.
If successful, this kick will make it 27-7. They're calling for the kickoff team over on the Georgia side. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week. Scored 27-7. 4:07 left. We'll come back for the kickoff. There's my referee sprinting down the field. The rest of them jog. That's my guy. He sprints. That's my sprinter ref. 27-7, 4:07 left in the second quarter. And what to date has been a dominating performance by the All-Stars from Florida. If this game is for the bragging rights, the voices heard from Georgia have to be a whisper.
Well, you know, Coach, there is 2 halves to every game. But Florida definitely has owned this first half so far. The only spark that Georgia has shown is the run by Chris Stovall on the first play of their third drive, I believe. Other than that, it's been pretty stagnant. And
Short
Florida's
kick.
going with the pooch kick here. They might get it.
Oh, it ran by it. Number 30 ran right by the ball.
Number 30, Peyton Edwards. That's Gobby. That's your school, Coach.
I'm sorry? Coach Corey Fuller School. My school is Merritt Island High School out of Central Florida. He ran right by it.
Ran right by the pooch kick for a potential recovery by Florida, and ball went out of bounds, so now Georgia will get it from the 40-yard line.
If that pooch kick had been successful, the coaching staff from Georgia might have taken off their belt, came over and tried to whip Florida for doing that.
Yeah, coaches don't really like that. I was seeing
you're right. That was my point, especially when you're up 27-7.
Dabo Swinney wasn't a big fan of Nick Saban doing that to him in the championship game a couple years back. And Kimbrough's hit as he throws, and they're going to rule it incomplete.
Kendall doesn't see the rush coming. I'm convinced of that. He doesn't see the rush coming.
Maybe the light's a little too bright for him tonight.
And you like his size. He's got to be, what would you say, about 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah, he's got nice size on him. And when he's actually throwing it, you can tell he has a pretty good arm.
Needs a little bit better pocket awareness. I say he better not slow down, because Florida was running behind him, boy, like it was dinner time. That's that speed we talked about before the game started.
Yeah, Georgia's not going to beat Florida running sideline to sideline. Florida has shown all game that they're the faster team.
I like Florida playing a lot more man-to-man coverage in their secondary. It's all-star games. You need to showcase your skills out here.
3rd and 11 for Kimbrough in this Georgia offense.
All up top there, locked into that man-to-man.
And here comes the pressure, and they're going with the screen to combat it. Running back didn't get a good handle on it,
move.
and now he does. And he'll still come up about 6 yards short of the first.
The Georgia fans are hungry for something to cheer for. All of them yelled when he made the spin move. He got 4 additional yards out of it.
So if you're Georgia, do you even consider going for it here?
I
or
was
no?
just wondering. I said, if I'm down 27-7, 2 minutes to go, I can't say that I would punt it this time in an All-Star game.
They do get the ball at half, though.
Yeah, but you need something now. Florida trying to get something off the field.
Russell Russ and Cortavius Garrett back to return
Still
again.
subbing them.
And they're going
Fake.
with the fake. And it's, he mishandled the reverse, and he's down in the backfield. Georgia trying to create a spark there, and looking like the Georgia Bulldogs against Alabama in the SEC Championship fell on the fake punt.
They failed in the execution miserably.
I felt
way too much mustard on that hot dog.
Yeah, too much mustard is a great phrase for it, because I felt like he was going to have it just running around the edge without the reverse. Because there's no way Florida can't rush on a punt, so they're not expecting anything other than the punt on that. And they tried to go with the reverse, and he mishandled it and just went south very quick for Georgia.
J.D. Terry with the ball.
And he's going to try to put this away right here.
Georgia got off the ball quick, but there's that. They've been finding that spot in the zone all night.
It's been there all night. That's why I'm shocked that Georgia is still going with the zone. Von Hayes kind of been Jerry's go-to guy tonight, too. He's killing him on that slot.
Whenever you're from the smaller schools in Florida, you get a chance to play in situations like this. It shows that the talent level isn't that large. You got a corner at the top of the screen. He's playing, man. But he's about the only one. Now they're looking deep at him. There he is.
He got beat.
He got beat. He sure did.
Pass complete to number 80, Cameron Lawrence.
They saw the same thing we did from here today with man-to-man coverage and went right at him, 159, 27-7.
Well, I guess that answers why Georgia hasn't been going man-to-man.
J.D. is 4th opportunity running the offense. He's had 2 touchdowns and a missed field goal.
Florida in Georgia territory with 2 plays. Now they have 4 wide receivers.
No, but they got there without
a penalty.
Without a personal foul. Oh, he's going to run this.
And he fakes the screen. He's held up at the 5.
Plenty of time, 150 left.
And I'm telling you, Jerry's looked so good tonight.
What down is this?
2nd down, about 2.
2nd and short. Oh, there go the beef eater team.
And Beef is back in there.
Beef in there. We're going to run the triple cheeseburger. I know that's my coach, Marcus Farland. Big guy himself. He won for the big fellas. They're gonna give it to the big guys one time. Watch.
This might be it right here. Oh no, he's following them.
And there's a
Quick
flag.
flag might be holding or illegal formation. You don't usually see a flag on a play that quick. Can't much really happen.
We had a 27-7 score on a game that's taken a long time to play.
And these penalties sure don't help.
One thing for sure, get to 9 o'clock in Thomasville, they close down these food places over here.
Is that all you worry about, Coach? The after-game meal?
No, I worry about the pregame meal.
Illegal procedure against Georgia. 1st and goal.
Against Georgia.
Yeah, that's very rare to see defense be tackled with the illegal procedure. I wonder exactly what the foul was.
Half the distance to the goal.
I want this to be a handoff to one of the Beefs. They got 2 of them in there. They need an inch. Go ahead and let them get it. And they follow him. And he stuffed, it looks like. And he finally
Looked like he fell across, but it's no signal.
going to rule him short. He was stuffed initially, and I guess he didn't get there on the 2nd effort. Florida's taking out J.D. Jerry. or no,
we
Florida's
got a
calling a
timeout.
timeout.
Florida.
And we're going to stay right here.
Be sure and hang around at halftime. A lot of activities. We'll have cheerleaders, the Red Hot dance team,
The Red Hot Dance Team at halftime.
As well as cheerleaders.
No, don't worry about the cheerleaders. But I hadn't seen the Red Hot Dance Team. I need to see how hot they are. The Red Hot Dance Team. That's a little different. Usually people try to keep it kind of family-oriented.
Red Hot.
Red Hot.
When's the last time you ate some Red Hots?
Now, who talking about eating now? Uh-huh.
It is almost halftime. Ms. B, you going to get something for us?
Yeah, see, I could have warned you, but I'm going to leave that alone. Boy, Florida's lined up already for the play.
It's going to be second and inches here when the
And who is on the field with the referees again? Is that one of the coaches? Yes. Coach Gray's trying to understand something.
being told as offensive coordinator Jonathan DeLay from Thomasville High.
Wow. As they huddle up.
Excuse me, head coach Zach Grage from Thomasville. was the one
Thomasville
out
High.
there.
Easy individual to talk to in the games that we cover for INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week. Personable, outgoing, always available. Our School of Journalism students love interviewing him. They say he's really a personable guy. You know, sometimes you go to do interviews, people don't want to be bothered, but Coach Grades is very entertaining and engaging.
And they go
Whoa,
with the
you just see the push by the Beefeaters.
Hey, it's legal now.
Whoa. He stood up, then going in.
Florida looking to take a 34-7 lead into halftime here with this extra point. And if you're Georgia, what's your message to your team?
Well, I know one thing, the Florida team trying to stay out, they don't even want to go in at halftime. They want to watch the Red Hot dancers. They were probably negotiating trying to stay and watch the game and watch the halftime show. But it's a 33-7 scoring right now. And the extra point should be good. This is a regular season game. It might be running time.
Georgia has to at least consider going with Johnson in the second half, don't they?
Oh, he's going to go second half. It's obviously what their strategy was, to let one quarterback play one half and try and get settled and run the offense, and then let the other quarterback run it the second half. So I'm pretty sure that's what they'll do.
Maybe something will change for him in this second half.
Yeah, you got to. Okay, the score should be that extra point was good, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. 34-7.
You guess they'll try another pooch kick?
I would just see where Georgia's mind is at. Because if I'm Georgia coaches, I'm really gonna start worrying about losing the team here.
Okay.
Because I mentioned earlier, it's already hard to motivate a team. Like, say, for example, a losing team's probably 0-9 on the season. This is their last game of the season. And going into the half, they're down 34-7. It's going to be kind of hard to motivate them to come out and believe that they can put up 27 unanswered in the second half. But like you said, it is an all-star game. They should want
He
to.
fumbled that.
And that's 36, Rovell again. Stovell, I mean.
Yeah, but he's not.
He's running hard.
Again, 30 yards north, 1 yard to the west.
I mean, Stovall's making his mark, or at least trying to make his mark for this Georgia offense whenever he touches the ball. He's running very hard out there. You can tell his heart is still in it.
Well, at the end of the day, he can say, I got mine.
Yeah.
And he has at least one run that he'll be able to put on tape. Now it's on tape, be able to show it. And coach is always looking for players who continue to play no matter how far they are behind.
Kimbrough in the shotgun. They're not going to run it out. They're going to Double move maybe, and throws it right into the
Intercept.
hands of Florida defensive back
Uh-oh.
He's
He's looking to score. He's looking to score.
Isaiah Henley.
And there's a late block. Yeah, personal foul on Florida. That was very late.
In on the tackle for Georgia, number 78, Aaron Atkins.
You can tell there, Kimbrough just trying to make something out of nothing, just chucking it up with the hope and the prayer.
And 16 seconds left. That's going to be a personal foul on Florida, I'm pretty sure.
And if you're this Florida team, you got to be very proud. This is for bragging rights. This is the war of the border. And you've come out and you've shown, hey, this is how we get it down in the Sunshine State.
We need to be able to make those calls and move on. We shouldn't have to have a summit conference meeting after every time a flag is thrown.
Coach Pierce.
2-hour first half.
You're right. We will have to edit a lot of this game to be able to fit it in the time constraints that we have to do the INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week.
And ball is still placed where the play ended, so penalty yardage hasn't been assessed yet. Unclear on.
That's because
on
they
who the
haven't
penalty
made a
is.
decision yet.
Looks like they've come to some kind of conclusion.
They made a call on both sides and waved it off.
Offsetting personal fouls.
And then a personal foul against Florida.
So 2 offsetting fouls and an additional foul against Florida.
So it was 2 fouls against Florida.
Yes, but one of them offset with another one with Georgia. So that'll back them up to about the 40. You think they try to get it in the end zone here?
I see them back here in the shotgun. I thought they might take a knee, but they're saying, hey, this all-star game, we're going to roll it.
This might just be a handoff to Matthews, but knowing him, he might get it there.
First and 10, Florida.
Peacock back
There's
in
a lot
that
of gaps
quarterback.
in that defense right now.
And they are going to pass it. They roll him to the right. He's going deep. He has Russ in the – and he drops it.
He was wide open. He had him.
I guess that's why Russ is
Wow.
listed as an athlete and not wide receiver.
Stop it. Stop it, Chris. Stop it.
Just saying.
Now he's holding on to the ball.
The second time he's lost it tonight. Remember, he was the one lost it on the 1 for the crazy play earlier.
Sure was.
Second and 10 here for Peacock. He's in the empty backfield. Florida's loved that tonight. They usually hit 13 in the slot real quick.
Same play.
And this time they're going deep. Jump ball. No one comes up with it.
And that's the half. The buzzer goes off with the score 34-7. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week. It's halftime. We're going to take a break. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week, and we're back. This is interesting. That 17-minute halftime buzzer went off. They gave him 3 more minutes. Florida warming up. Georgia just now coming on. There's 5 seconds left. I'm going to be interested to see how this plays out.
Literally just now coming on. We were worried about if they were actually going to come back out of the locker room or not.
Yeah, they're back now with no time to warm up because they've expired the 3 minutes they have. Now the Georgia coaches are telling them, come on.
Seeing that they did indeed come out of the locker room, that was probably just the Georgia coaches kind of digging into the players, asking them how much do they want this, how much are they going to leave out there on the field tonight, and are they actually going to try to apply themselves in the second half. So it's probably
well, Chris, they should be good the second half because they didn't use much energy the first half.
Hey, and that's probably what the coach was telling them in the locker room. Sure, in a different kind of way.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the coaches bouncing up and down on the Georgia sideline. I need to see the players bouncing up and down. But Florida's ready to go. They're lined up for the kickoff. Still waiting on Georgia. You know, they, as we've discussed at halftime with some of the longtime participants of this game, so this is Georgia usually is a lot better prepared than what we have seen tonight. Maybe the second half, it'll be a little bit better.
Well, I'm not usually one to generalize, but I can tell you in about 45 seconds if this half is going to be better for Georgia or not. And it all depends on what they do at quarterback.
Oh, they're going to change quarterbacks. I could tell you that right now. It's
You've
going to
been
be a
saying
different quarterback.
But I'm looking at their sideline there, and I see Kimball ready to take the field after this play.
Okay, we will see. High kickoff at the 25. And the running back behind him ran into him from behind. I don't see that often. Now tell me who's the quarterback.
Looks like they have both of them in the huddle, both Kimbrough and Johnson. Going to see which one actually trots out onto the field.
Kendall Johnson probably. Or Dylan Johnson.
And it's Kimbrough.
And I'm going to shut up.
And for Georgia, we'll see how this works out. They started the first half with this. It's maybe that flare pass again.
Oh, that's the same play they started the game with.
And it's a double pass. He's looking deep.
And he threw it out of bounds. He threw it out of bounds.
You know what, Coach? It just hit me. They've been setting up that flare pass all game to do that. But the flare pass never really worked, though. Like, when they run that flare pass, the Florida defense is there, like, almost immediately. So, seeing that, then still expecting the double pass out of it to work is just kind of, I guess, stubborn is the word I'm looking for this Georgia coaching staff.
Wow.
And it's a fight out there now. Number 3, KT Wilson, grabbing a face mask of a Florida player. And emotions starting to bubble up here for both teams. Hate to see that kind of thing, Coach.
Yeah, I'm with you on that completely. Coaches on both sides remind me of Gabi and Pensacola Pine Forest. Both coaches remind me of Gabi's coaching staff because both coaches kept all of their players on the sideline so that it didn't escalate. And the Florida coaches were very active in terms of getting on the field and separating everybody.
Yeah, well, we went to a running clock situation now. The clock is still running despite it being a dead ball.
Marcus Farland from Wakulla High School is calling the defense together. I'm not upset about the running clock.
Me neither.
You know, and let's not say it loud because it might have been an accident. We don't want them to turn it off. Let the clock run. My dear friend, neighbor, Johnny Cofield and I been talking about the game and this running clock. We were not anticipating that. Because it's going to take a while. I'm glad the clock is running. It's going to take them a while. On a simple offside, it takes 5 minutes for them to caucus up and decide what to do. They got a personal foul on Georgia, personal foul on Florida.
Offsetting.
Very good.
Bringing up a 3rd and 10 here for Georgia.
And we need to stop holding discussions with the coaches and go on and keep playing the game. If the clock is running, they can do what they do.
And so we've expended about 2.5 minutes of game time on 2 plays. And now they blow for the clock to stop.
They're going to go back and put Johnny Cofield must have said something. He must have said something. I told Ira Reynolds to make sure he kept Johnny under control. God, though.
The whole Florida team's coming onto the field. I think there's another timeout here. Seems to be some confusion amongst the referees, I believe.
Didn't we just say they take a caucus and they have a summit meeting and make some type of resolution?
Well, they stopped the clock for this one, so it must be more important.
Well, they stopped the clock for all of them except this the running time that they went. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week, they've stopped playing. We're going to stop too. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, mic on. Oh. And we're back. What has been resolved? I don't know. Oh.
3rd and 9 for Georgia, in desperate need of a spark here. They went back to the running clock.
3rd down, Georgia.
And the clock is on again.
Kimbrough showing some pocket awareness, getting out the pocket. And he lost the ball, but it went out of bounds. You bring up 4th down for Georgia. And I'd go for it here. Well, it looks like both teams are sending out the punt squads.
It's a simple run out of bounds, and they let the clock keep going. Good.
4th down, Georgia. Number 84, Reagan Harrell checks in punt formation.
Well, last time it was like this, it was a fake. Decent kick. He looked like he was great. He picked it up. He looked like he wanted to pick that up the whole time.
Quarterback J.D. Jerry running back on for Florida. Looking to come up with his 3rd touchdown of the day.
And a flag.
Of course.
They say, of course. No, you didn't say, of course.
Block in the back, receiving team.
This one's against Florida for a change, as opposed to Georgia or offsetting. Illegal block in the back.
On the receiving team. 10 minutes and 15 seconds. 34-7. Florida putting on a show. Their first time having the ball this half.
1st and 10, Florida.
J.D. Jerry lining up with the shotgun with Parker Wilson to his right. And he hands it off to Wilson right up the gut for a gain of about 3 or 4.
Now, do you continue to highlight your athletes, or do you just keep it on the ground and let the clock run?
You know what? If this is a regular game, I'll just say let it run. But it is an all-star game at the end of the day. I'd go, like, kind of short passes for Jerry to let the receivers try to do something in space to try to showcase what they can do after the catch. But it looks like they're going to go with the 3 runs to get the 4th and short or 3rd and 1.
Well, one thing about it, even if you run or pass, it's running clock, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You know, the clock is still moving even on the pass as it's now right at 9 minutes.
3rd down, Florida.
Discipline shown by the offensive line there.
This is discipline shown by Jerry in my eyes, letting that play clock run all the way.
And again, that snap over his head. He's been a magician being able to catch some of those bad snaps. And another flag.
This might be a taunt.
And another flag.
Flag on the play.
And sometime, even in this game, I'm like dear friend Johnny Cofield. Don't call it. Let it go.
It is an all-star game. If I was Georgia, I would have asked if I can have one of the quarterbacks from the Florida team.
If I'm the Georgia coaching staff, I'm trying to get this game going. The more time you spend talking to your team, and it is personal foul against Georgia, you're losing opportunities.
1st and 10, Florida.
Another Georgia
You're losing
penalty.
opportunities. You got to get the game going if you're Georgia.
Georgia's been out of sorts since kickoff, really, and I guess really the only explanation is to put
Triplets
it
to the bottom of the screen with 2 cornerbacks on them. Did they call another?
timeout by Georgia.
Gee.
And yeah, like I was saying, Georgia's been
They
out of
stopped the
sorts.
clock on the timeout there.
The
INSiiGHTS High
whole
School Game
game.
of the Week. We'll be back. And we're back. What is that you're saying, Chris?
Georgia's they've never really got out of park really, like let alone into reverse or into drive, as like every single one of their offensive drives has stalled. Florida's been able to do whatever they want against their defense, and it's just I haven't really seen motivation outside of the 2 plays by Chris Stovall from this Georgia team, and it's kind of disappointing to have that kind of showing here in the All-Star game.
Much ballyhooed, much anticipation, especially between Tallahassee and Thomasville, with separated by less than 30 miles and the schools in between and close to them. For this game to go like it has gone. Florida has dominated on both sides of the ball and in every aspect of the game except penalties. Georgia has completely dominated penalties.
Florida goes with the screen. And neither of these receivers got a block on this side. They just both ran right past the play.
And again, a skirmish.
Yeah. You could kind of expect it to get chippy because
If it was a jet screen, they jetted. They didn't. They didn't set a block. Like you noticed, they were both 30 yards downfield.
they were still able to get 9 out of the screen, though. So
All on individual effort. Leon running back, diminutive in size, but runs to the yard marker, should be first down.
and if I'm Florida, I really don't even really think about passing it other than those screens. But I wouldn't be shocked to see a play action come soon.
6:10 left in the third quarter.
Listen to that hard count from Jerry.
He hadn't fooled him yet with it, but it's something that's part of what he does is his MO as quarterback. And as you said, it's never inside. It's always inside 10 seconds when he hikes the ball.
There's the play action.
Up top.
You got a man. And the Georgia defensive back, Matthew Jackson, was able to get a hand on it, but it still fell into the hands of Von Hayes. And that's another completion from Jerry to Hayes. They've hooked up a few times tonight, both of them out of North Florida Christian.
Von Hayes has been an impact player in this game. Deflection came right into his hands.
And there's that screen again.
A jet screen. This time they block.
And they may get to the end zone from it. D.T. Tompkins dives, and they're going to say he's at the 1.
Everybody on the sideline from Florida had both hands in the air for inside 5 minutes, clock running.
I think they may go with the beef here again. I didn't see either of them run in yet. And they're actually going to bring in another running back. And this looks like to be their standard keeper play out of the empty set. Or they might even go back to that fade that they tried to throw earlier to Shelton Watson. Wow, did you see that ball location, though, right there by Jerry? Did you see that?
I was speechless because it went between two people, and it was placed right in his hands, and I was trying to figure if I was actually seeing that correctly. That was a heck of a throw. That was a Baker Mayfield toss.
I can't say enough how impressed I've been with Jerry tonight.
He has done an excellent job.
And I'll even go one further and say, and this is no slight to Peacock, but if Jerry's in the whole game, this is even uglier.
He's done an excellent job. I've been very impressed with him.
Illegal shift on North Florida. On Florida, excuse me.
The command of his team been impressive. Three minutes and 19 seconds. And now they're trying to close the gaps.
Parker Wilson was just thrown to the ground by Dorian Judge and another Georgia defender. And Georgia showing a little bit of fight here, trying to protect their end zone.
About time. You now you want to barricade the barn door after all the horses left. Now
Second and goal from the 6. And here's Jerry on the keep. He walks into the end zone. 53 Del
Once he
Kendrick
keeps
Allen.
it, he's been difficult for them to even touch him.
He's very shifty back there. I'll tell you what. This is the last football game for that young man. That's a travesty in my opinion. That is.
He can play somewhere at some level.
For sure.
And his football acumen is off the charts.
He's a quarterback. He's everything you can ask for, at least in this game, because he has been inconsistent in the past. But what he's shown in this game is absolutely what you need someone to show in the All-Star game. This is what All-Star games are made for the kind of performance that J.D. Jerry is putting on here tonight.
He took what is a quality opponent and has rendered them futile.
Your score, Florida.
The INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week will come back for the kickoff. And we're back, and the clock has stopped. There's 2:23 left in a 40-7 blowout by the guys from the Sunshine State of Florida. The high school's back on the other side of the border, south of the border, in Tallahassee and surrounding areas. Can be proud of what these young men have done over here in terms of showing complete dominance against some quality football players. Congratulations to the coaching staff from Florida, which have put together an organized team that came ready to play. Short kickoff. Turning the corner. And knocked out of bounds at the 35.
On a couple of different occasions, we've seen Georgia kind of show some speed on these kickoff returns. Why do you think they haven't tried to implement that into the offense? Try to utilize some of the speed of the returners they have back there.
Because what they've done in the terms of their offense has not surprised or confused Florida at all. And Florida gets to the edge with a quickness. We're well coached. They keep containment, and they stretch it out. And when they stretch it out, somebody's coming behind you the whole time. It's a basic defensive principle that's been
There's
taught
the
at
flare
all
pass
levels
again.
of Florida football.
Pass complete to number 18, Clay
I was afraid they were going to call a flag then. Got knocked out after about a 9-yard game, 1 minute and 10 seconds left.
Stovall's back in the game at running back for Georgia. Let's see if they give it to him and get us another big run. There he is.
Yeah, they made him spread it out.
Got to the edge.
The long run he made was right up the middle, and he bounced it off. But he's trying to outrun Florida to the perimeter. They're not quick enough to do that.
He was able to get the first down, though, so still continues to be a positive night for Stovall, at least.
It's 35 seconds left. They will get one more play in and end the third quarter.
Georgia looking to the sideline.
Here comes that blitz.
Here's a reverse pass, it looks like, or actually just a reverse. And
He hit the quarterback and tackled the receiver.
that play was all out of sorts and was going to result in about a loss of 15.
That was your athlete, Russell Ross, the athlete from Moultrie.
I guess there's one on both teams.
And that ends the third quarter with a score of 40-7 by Florida. We'll take a break and come back for the fourth quarter as all the Florida athletes got the four fingers in the air. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week coming back. And we're back.
Fourth quarter getting underway with conference from the refs, it looks like.
We have a lot of those Ricketts helmets out there. We have just a slight delay before. Surprise, surprise, before we get this quarter started here. Second down. I'm trying to figure out what they're doing with these flags. The down markers, they holding the game. It took all that time and still didn't have the down marker straight. I see Marcus Farland over the defensive line over there with his hat turned to the side. He's looking at him like there's something new. Marquez, get them straight. What is this, second and about 25 or 30? Look like second and 20.
Kimbrough Bell's on the play.
Yeah, a little late.
He had a little bit of room, but go down after a very short game. Like you said, one of the Florida defenders came in a little bit late there. No flag.
He did. Number 40, Josh Hadley, from tight end from Colquitt, was trying to defend his quarterback. Third down. And 22.
False start up there on the receiver, it looks like. They're going to let it slide.
Yes, please let it slide.
Number 13, Keyshawn Jackson, kind of got out of his stance a little bit.
Rolling left.
And there's Jackson.
Deep.
He has him deep. Underthrown and
Grossly
skipped.
underthrown.
That's why Jackson false started over there. He was eager for the play to start. Try to get that touchdown, but Kimbrough underthrew him, and it's going to bring up 4th down and 20 for Georgia here.
4th down and 20. Deep is number 10, Cortavius Garrett, wide receiver from Sneeds. Deep in punt formation. Along with number 9, Quinn Lee from Madison, 2-time defending state champion. Clock rolling, 12:45.
And here's the fake again. There's the reverse, and they executed this time. It's a reverse pass.
Gonna be
And
intercepted.
it's in there, dropped by number 8, Russell Russ, who's kind of had butterfingers tonight, but thankfully for Florida, it hasn't really cost him.
Again, that's the one you were talking about as athlete, not wide receiver, not halfback.
Definitely not defensive back.
Well, that's who the defensive back is. Usually the wide receivers who can't catch. You make them
Maybe
a
that's what he
cornerback.
should be then.
No.
See what he can do on the defensive side of the ball. Peacock back out there at quarterback for Florida as they take over at the Georgia 36-yard line.
Yeah, 4
after
receivers to the right.
they've been doing it all night.
1 to the left. Man to man.
And there he is. Kimbrough takes off. He's not going to make it. He avoids the big hit from number 25, Craven Brown out of Thomasville.
Is that a flag? Illegal procedure, Florida. Clock still running, 40-7, 11:22 left. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week. Taking a break. We'll be right back. And we're back.
All right, Coach, as this game winds down and basically INSiiGHTS football season winds down, what was your favorite game from this year?
Most favorite game that we've had in terms of the fans was the Godby Pensacola Pine Forest game. That's the game that on YouTube in 6 months has become the number 2 watched all-time game for us. Pensacola came to Godby with a host of athletes that were just as athletic as what Coach Fuller had. And that's the game that everybody has gone back and watched over and over and over again, has been that contest. We always have a great time when we go to Brooks County. We're well treated up in Quitman, Georgia. Coach Freeman, his motto is bring the hammer, and those guys bring that doggone hammer.
All right, here's Peacock. He hands it off to Townsend. It's a lot of contact.
A lot of contact that didn't slow him down. That didn't slow him down. Fullback Franklin County. That's Coach Yeoman, Tony Yeomans, who's the head coach of the Florida team. That's his running back.
Resulted in a gain of about 3. It's going to bring up 3rd and 11. Peacock moving around, breaks a tackle, has a man
Wow.
wide open in the middle of the zone. It's number 1, DT Tompkins, and it's good for a first down.
Complete to number 1, DT Tompkins.
Boy, that footwork has just been amazing. He has stepped out of 3 different tackles that time, keeping his eyes up, his head up, downfield, buying time, and delivered a strike.
We've been talking about Jerry, but really it's been both of them. Jerry and Peacock both have really been impressive tonight. Peacock has shown an ability to evade pressure and then set his feet and make a throw a couple times on different occasions tonight. And looking for the corner of the end zone, and it's intercepted by number 5, Akeem McKiver.
And tackle.
And I guess that's what they call the commentator's curse there. Right as I was talking up about Peacock, he kind of takes a risk on in the double coverage. And
Peacock
interception.
himself has come from a winning program. They've lost 3 in the last 2 years combined. He's done an excellent job. Yeah, 8 minutes and 8 seconds left in this very close ball game.
Hey, we've seen worse this year, though.
We need both teams to finish with the same degree of sportsmanship that they started the contest and the game with. A lot of these guys will go on and be teammates and friends in the future. Okay, whistle's blown, gentlemen. Right now it's just a matter of individualism, people trying to stand up on their own, face the adversity and the conflict from the person across the field from them, playing all the way to the buzzer.
Pictures are starting over on the Florida sideline. Peyton Edwards and Russell Rush smiling for the camera down there. I'm sure their families are very happy for them. Made it to the All-Star game and put on quite a showing. Great effort there by tight end Josh Hadley after the completion from Kimbrough. Good for
And
about
another flag.
12. Look,
And again, a little skirmish.
Coach,
Much to do about nothing.
as you were saying earlier, the clock's still running, so
Exactly.
fine by me.
6:35 left.
You buy a ticket for the raffle, Coach?
I sent you down to get the raffle tickets. I didn't see you come up here, so put them in your pocket.
I must have spent that on the Snickers or something.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. And again, there we go with that summit meeting.
Stoppage in play, but the clock hasn't stopped. And they're walking it back. Looks like a penalty on Georgia.
That's what it looks like. Yet again.
Georgia has had nothing short of 10 penalties for over 100 yards.
And
tonight.
maybe 10 personal fouls.
And the penalties have killed them from literally the opening play.
And again, it is taking forever
Here are many
to get
different
this
whistles.
in play. INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week. We'll take a break. We'll come right back.
The winning ticket is a 50-50 raffle, 601731.
And we're back. The holdup was they need to announce the winner for the 50-50 ticket. That's what happened.
I was wondering if that's what was really happening right now or if it was just a coincidence.
Oh,
But
yeah, watch. They'll go on and put the game in play now.
It looks like it's one of the refs. He's heading off the
To say he's leaving to go claim
He's
his
heading
winning
off the
ticket.
field to claim his raffle ticket. Looks like they had the chains misplaced.
Okay, now they've stopped the clock. We already told you that there was some issues with the sideline crew, with the chain crew earlier. Marcus Farland was looking over at him earlier from Wakulla by way of FAMU Florida A&M University, he was trying to wonder what was so complicated about this chain crew.
I think what the problem was
Now the clock has started again.
is they made it 3rd and 10. Like the chain crew moved so that the chains will reflect 3rd and 10 when it should reflect 3rd and 20. So they have to move the chain crew back up, believe the yard marker.
Now they start the
where it
clock
was.
again.
And that's the worst news of it all.
Ooh. This has been an interesting game. Hey, the Thomasville High Band, they jetted after halftime.
They had the right idea.
They said they had the right idea.
Hey, it wasn't too long ago, but we weren't sure if Georgia were going to even come out after halftime.
All right, clock is off. Officials having another caucus. Caucus number 873 for this contest. Man. Now, somebody said, come on, please.
I've been here
Okay,
for
now
about the past 5
the
minutes.
north side officials are now meeting with the south side officials. And now I see somebody with the chain crew. He's calling somebody else with the flag. He's now calling the chain crew to come up.
And they're moving the chains back to where
Looking at the chain crew, this is a group of volunteers. They're a group of volunteers. Oh, and they hiked the ball.
They hiked the ball before the chains were even set.
Right.
And number
Did they not throw
18,
him
Quay
down there?
Edwards. That was the old
Oh,
Michael
Lord,
James.
there go another flag.
Kenyon Barner.
You got 2 players over here from Florida just left the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 Florida players on the field, and they broke off a 40-yard play. 4 players go on for Florida. Wow. Like you said, the chain crew was never set when they put the ball in play. Even the officials got tired of waiting on that.
Running back Quay Edwards showed a great effort there. It looked like he was going to be tackled, kept his feet moving, knee never touched the ground. And now it's Florida with the penalty that's going to put Georgia on the edge of the end zone, but it's not really going to affect the result. But sure enough, it will affect these players' confidence.
Man, this game is one for the record book.
Here's Quay Edwards again. He almost lost the handle on the football. Stopped for about a loss of 5.
The clock now inside 3:53 and rolling.
You think Georgia gets it in here before the end of the game?
I doubt it. Unless they put it in play again before the team gets ready.
Here's a double pass. A little bit high that time from Kimbrough. Really set his receiver up there, but he was under pressure as well. And his receiver, slow to get up. He got up and went back down. Number 6, Jarquavion Hall out of Thomasville right here. He's at home. Probably has some folks in the crowd hoping he's okay.
And they started the clock again.
The MVP of the game for Georgia, Chris Stovall's back in the game. He has Georgia's only score this game. Probably more yards.
And Keldrick Pompey for defensive back from Gobby with 1 white sock up and none on the other foot.
That might be a leg sleeve.
On one leg. On one leg.
Here's Kimbrough back to pass, looking in the direction of Janae's Graves.
Inside 3 minutes, there's 2:44 left.
And
2:33, clock steadily rolling.
4th and 8 here for Georgia. It's probably their last opportunity at getting in the end zone again before this game's over. See if they come up with something
Before the
interesting
game
here.
ends, because it's been over. Oh, they're way off sides there. They're way off sides there. But the clock's still moving, 2:04, 2:03.
It's going to make it a little bit easier here for Kimbrough.
War of the Border. Our second time being in Thomasville for this all-star game between Florida and Georgia. Wasn't much of a contest this year. Florida dominated this game.
Kimbrough looking for Graves, corner of the end zone. And he had perfect ball placement there, but Graves unable to make the difficult catch. Would have been hard either way. And looks like we're going to head out to this one with the final score, 40-7. That's all indications. They're blowing the play, stopping the clock, timeout, Florida.
INSiiGHTS High School Game of the Week. We'll be back for this last minute, 24 seconds. And we are back.
I really wanted to see Kimbrough at least make a play there. He didn't have to get into the end zone, but I wanted to see him in the game on a high note. It's been kind of a rough night for him, but just couldn't get it there. It would have been a great catch by Graves. It's probably his best throw of the night, actually.
It was one of the few times he might have had a little bit of time to make that throw. Florida has lived back there with him, putting pressure on him where he hasn't had much time to set his feet and make a throw.
And when he has had time, he's hesitated. That time he pulled the trigger, placed it right where it needed to be placed. Just his receiver couldn't come up with the difficult catch, and turnover on downs. 40-7 Florida.
Florida back in the shotgun.
Florida still passing. Maybe they're going for my strategy I mentioned a little earlier, short passes to these receivers so they can show what they can do after the catch. It's always good to have on tape. Peacock still in that quarterback for Florida. They didn't go back
I've heard
to Jerry
two
for
different
this drive.
philosophies. I've often heard coaches say if you have a problem with them still moving the ball up and down the field in
Stop
a game
'em.
that's already been decided, and play defense and stop them. He's going to throw this one deep.
They're having fun with it. It's running clock.
And that may have been the last play of the game. It's 35 seconds left, 40-7.
I think Florida's going to do one more. Maybe try to win by even 40.
And I don't think they'll call another one. It's a shock.
Play clock never even started, so I
No.
think refs want this one to be over with. Let's see if Florida's going to snap it here.
It's 15 seconds left.
And they
And they
do.
did.
Peacock drops back. He's looking in the direction of Shelton Watson. Overthrows him. 3, 2, 1.
And it's the second time. Excuse me. It's the second year in a row that INSiiGHTS has been able to be here. The game by Mike Gammons and Robbie. Last time it's Thomasville County. Thomas County, this one at Thomasville High School. We appreciate everybody being with us, getting a chance to see these young men play in their last high school game. Hopefully they will continue on at some level, able to participate in the sport that they love. This is my Mickey Clayton, the coach, and my co-host, Chris Johnson from the School of Journalism. We appreciate you being with us. And we're going to say good night and step in the gap.